GTM. No, it means that go to market. GTM means go to market, is it? Actually, in our previous classes, we have got the idea what is the meaning of approach, what is the meaning of method, what does it mean to know the term that is technique, devices, relating to language learning, any sort of learning, that means first language learning, second language learning, foreign language learning, international language learning. From this class, we will start to analyze and to understand what does the method mean, what does the approach mean. Actually, we will be discussing several sorts of methods and techniques and approaches as well. Okay. So in this regard, GTM, that is grammar translation method, that is a very traditional method, that is a very classical method, that is a very old method, because the time when second language learning started, we have got the appreciation, that is why and in which way we will be learning language. At that time, I have understood the historical background that we will be learning a foreign language based on the power of the language, economic power, and the military power. Okay. So the Roman civilization, the Greek civilization, they are the mightiest civilization in 14th, 15th, 16th, even 17th century. So their literature is also great. We have got the appreciation that the literature created by the great Roman writers. So initially that was our method, that why we will learn second language, because of studying the literature of the great countries or the great civilization like Roman civilization and Greek civilization. Okay. So we want to read the language of which country, that country is very powerful. At the time, Roman Empire was powerful. And we will be reading the literature of the powerful country. And their literature were written in Latin language. Okay. So to study the Latin language and the literature, what we have to do, that means we have to understand the meaning of their text, that means written in Latin language. We have to understand the meaning of Latin literature, Roman literature, Greek literature. Okay. So this method introduces us to study the meaning of the words, that means the vocabulary, as well as the structure relating to the grammatical structure of the language. And so this method is called an old method, classical method, because Roman literature is the classic literature, and also the traditional method, because whenever in 16th, 17th, 18th century, whenever we talked about language learning, we didn't have alternative except this one. What is this one? Go to market. Not go to market, that is grammar translation method. If I say the sentence, I play football, okay? There is a grammar in it. In it means within the sentence. Okay? So first one is subject, second one is verb, third one is object. If I change the sentence in such a way that I play in the morning, what will be happening over there? That means I will again be the subject, play will be the verb, and in the morning adverbial of place. You can say, no, I play in the morning. Then I play in the morning, I play at the university's playground. So I have changed this time, that is in the morning, that is time, and again I can say I play at the university's ground, that is the adverbial of place. So grammar is common to all languages, and at the time we didn't have alternative to learn the language, eliminating the importance of grammar. So we will try to focus in this class what is GTM. We have got the idea, that is, it means go to market. No, not go to market, it is grammar translation method. And we will also be dealing with the other terms relating to grammar translation method, like principles of grammar translation method, benefits and limitations of grammar translation method, and also students' role, teachers' role. Because in the third class, that means the previous class, we have got whether it may be an approach, whether it may be a method, we have to have knowledge relating to the issues, that is syllabus, curriculum, teacher's role, learner's role, and the other things relating to a method or an approach. It is not an exception that grammar translation method will have these principles, that is what is the role of a student in grammar translation method. What will be the role of a teacher in grammar translation method? We will try to have a brief knowledge about grammar translation method. Okay. Grammar translation method is called Prussian method as well. Why it is called Prussian method? Prussia is the influential states of Germany. Okay. Prussian states. Yeah. And when GTM started its journey, the German scholar first called this term grammar translation method. So grammar translation method is called, I have said, traditional method, classical method, and also the old method, as well as it has another name that is called Prussian method. Why? Because this method initiated with the knowledge of some German scholars, and they had been initiating their knowledge in a state named Prussia, that is a part of Germany. So this method is also called Prussian method as well. And they have published a book relating to this method that was published in 1845. And the name of that book is the Ciceronian, or the Prussian method of teaching the elements of Latin language. Okay? Ciceronian, yeah. Or in German language it is Ciceronian, the Prussian method of teaching the elements of the Latin language. Kelly mentioned that, but the book was published by that the Prussian German scholars. Kelly mentioned that. So it has several names. And why it has several names? Why it is an old method? Because it is the oldest one. Why it is a classical method? Why it is a classical method? Because this method is applied to study the classical literature. Why it is an traditional method? Because this has been the tradition that we didn't have alternative other than GTM to study the foreign language. And why it is Prussian methods? Because GTM started its journey by the knowledge of some German scholars in Prussia. Okay, so it has several names. And how does it work? The bubble principles will be dealing with the all norms relating to grammar translation method. Okay, so with which one we will start first? There is a bubble in the center. It is bluish in color, is it? Yes. GTM, goals, characteristics, and techniques. So if we go up, then similar characteristics. Yeah. Grammar translation method, the name itself suggests that grammar will be there and translation will be there. So, our arts student was asked, okay, what does theta mean? Okay. Theta, you know? So he said that it is a zero, and within the zero there is a cross. Because it is the general idea. So in the same way, we can get that GTM will be dealing with first grammar and second translation. With your own knowledge, you can give the definition that grammar translation means grammar will be there and translation will be there. But there are some principles. That is, classes are taught in mother language. And grammar translation, teachers, especially to make the literature understandable by all the students, they deliver lecture in first language. That means in Germany, in China, they will be teaching Latin language, but they will be teaching in mother language. In Bangladesh, the teachers will be teaching in Bangla language. This is one principle of grammar translation method. This has benefits and also the disadvantages. Benefits is that is every learning will depend on our cognition. Cognition and how does it will be understood, or how it will be understood by the learner. If I give a message in my first language, then my cognition level, that means the understanding process will work quickly and we can understand easily. And another thing, disadvantages will be coming later on. Okay. So, sentences are the basic units of the teaching. First, they will be dealing with the sentence. That means sentence is structure, sentence relating to subject-verb agreements and other things. They will stay in sentence. Try to focus every element of a sentence, not a sentence, all the sentences of the target languages. And in case of understanding the meaning of the target language, vocabulary will be taught and learned. And in this way, what are the approaches of learning vocabulary? One of the good approaches is studying antonyms and synonyms. Antonyms, we know that the word meaning in opposite, and synonym means the words meaning is meaning in similar. Okay, so antonym and synonym will be there. Okay, and the other forms of techniques that we'll be studying relating to teach the vocabulary, because we have to translate the target language and we have to translate the first language in the target language and vice versa. So translation from first language to target language and target language to and students. What is the students' role in this method? Students will be the passive learners. It means that there will be no interaction between teacher and students and among the students. Not several sort of interaction will be there. In the last class we have said that actually interaction played vital role towards the second half of 19th century and the first half of 20th century, that dominated that interaction will be necessary, communication is necessary. Okay, written communication will be there. We have to be mastered in grammar, but we have to be mastered to make effective communication. That means the authentic messages we have to pass. Okay. So in grammar translation method, there will be a one-way teaching. Teacher will be delivering lectures in all the way from the beginning to the end of the class, and learners will listen. And sometimes they will note their hat. Okay. Sometimes they will say yes. Sometimes they will say like that. So it's a sort of teaching in grammar translation. Study grammar of the target language. Okay. We have said that means grammar translation method. Grammar is the basic unit of study in grammar translation. Deductive application of grammar rules. Deduct means
decrease.
Decrease. Deduct means cutting. Cut. Okay. Indirectly, the grammar will be there, but grammar will not come first. Grammar will be there, but through the translation, grammatical point will be there. That will be in the mind. That means why I am starting the this class with the sentence, because I wanted to show you the sentence, and at the same time I want to show the grammar of this sentence. That means the structure of this sentence. So through the translation, they will be learned. That means the learners will learn grammar indirectly. And translation from L1 and L2, we have understood that first language to target language. L2 means target language, and L2 to L1. So translation will be there. Okay, and also the memorization. Verb forms. Memorization, it's good, because if we can memorize a thing, that will be our habit. Okay, you can say after me this word. Okay, say after me. So I will be telling, and you will be telling the same word after me. It means that you will be trying to memorize the words of the target language. So memorizing is a process. So memorizing is a good one sometimes, but next time memorizing will decrease your knowledge of creativity. Okay, and for this reason, in the new syllabus introduced in Bangladesh, in new curriculum, their memorization is discouraged. Okay, but that situation started early. But in Bangladesh, we are trying to implement that. Okay, that means memorization also means that memorizing without understanding the content. Yeah. That means every student can memorize a thing. But whenever I will be telling that, okay, tell it in your own words, if he memorized it earlier, he can't place it in his or her own way. So memorization decrease our knowledge of creativity. And the verb forms are actually grammatical rules and vocabulary. And classes are teacher-centered. Teacher will be the leader of the class. Okay, as we have said, that means that is one time communication will be delivered in the target language of a grammatical points. Okay, so some advantages are there in this grammar translation method. That is easiest for the teachers to use. Easiest for the teachers to use. That means teachers will be dealing the thing in the first language, so easy to make the student understand. Pakhai রোদের গন্ধ মেখে নেবে চিল, সংসার বিভাগী কবি সেই দিন ফিরবেন ঘরে, সেই দিন অপুরাণ রৌদ্রালোকে খেলা করবে আমাদের সন্তানেরা, আমরা ফিরে পাবো আমাদের সোনালী শৈশব, দুধ ভাত সাগর তলা। If we are in a position to translate this, এটা যদি আপনাদেরকে টার্গেট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে ট্রান্সলেশন করে বোঝাতে হয়, রোদের গন্ধ ট্রান্সলেশন কিভাবে করবেন? দুধ, ভাত, সাগর কলা। সাগর কলার ইংরেজি আপনি কি করবেন? কারণ এটা টার্গেট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ইংরেজি একটাই আছে, বানানা ফর অল। So, translation in one way helpful in that way, যখন আমি বাংলায় বলবো, বাংলায় একটা জিনিস যত সহজে বোঝানো যায়, ট্রান্সলেশন করে সেটা তত সহজে বোঝানো যায়। Does not require teachers to speak good English or make good lesson preparations. Okay. Actually, in every class still, I teach these courses at least for 2 years. Okay? But before coming to this class, I have to take preparation at least 1 hour. Okay? In grammar translation method, it's not necessary to pass so many time for the preparation. And a teacher will be there just delivering lectures in Bangla language, and you can also whenever I will be calling in speaking in Bangla language, there is no matter of my pronunciation, because we know the better pronunciation of Bangla. এর আগের ক্লাস দেখে মনে হলো যে আবৃত্তি শুনে আপনারা খুশি হয়েছে, কিন্তু ইংরেজি প্রনাউন্সিয়েশনের সময় যদি কোনো প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন ভুল হয় তাহলে সেটা জন্য শিক্ষককে প্রিপারেশন নিতে হবে। টিচারদের জন্য এই জন্য গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথড হেল্পফুল। ইটস নট নেসেসারি টু টেক প্রিপারেশন, স্পেশালি pronunciation and all some others issue relating to the target language. Only use the textbook. Okay, textbook will be there. They will be following the textbook. Okay, I have said that in this course we will be following a book as a textbook, that is a process and methods written by Richards and Rogers. Okay, but many of the classes we don't go to the text. We are hovering to the other materials collected from here, collected from here, collected from there, and with the examples of some common day-to-day activities relating to the thing we are supposed to teach. Okay, so out of the textbook we can go everywhere to gain the knowledge, to make the knowledge understandable by the all teachers. In grammar translation methods, it's very easy that we will remain in the textbook. There will be some component we have to translate in target language, and we have to translate it from target language to mother language. Less stressful for a student teaching occurs in the first language. Another thing, that means যখন আমরা বাংলা ভাষায় কথা বলবো, আমার বাংলা ভাষায় ভুল হলে অন্ততপক্ষে কেউ হাসবে না, ওকে? কিন্তু ইংরেজি ভাষায় যদি ভুল করি, ইংরেজি প্রনাউন্সিয়েশনে ভুল করলো মাস্টার্সের স্টুডেন্টস, ওকে? তো এই জন্য স্টুডেন্টদের মাথায় একটা স্ট্রেস কাজ করে, যখন এই জন্য প্রেজেন্টেশনে সবাই প্রেজেন্টেশন দিতে আসে কি করে, একটু নার্ভাস হয়, ফিল শাই, feel afraid. Okay, so in grammar translation method, student will be less stressful because they can talk in their native language. Student learn the new language without contact with the native speakers. In grammar translation method, okay, naturally a person went to an English speaking country, সেখানে সবজি কাটার জন্য বটি কিনতে গিয়েছে দোকানে। এখন বটির ইংরেজি ওখানে কিভাবে বলবো? ওখানে ওরা সবজি কাটে সবগুলো দাঁড়িয়ে চপার দিয়ে হচ্ছে নাইফ, ঠিক আছে? কিন্তু নাইফ দিয়ে আমরা বাংলাদেশিরা কি করতে পারি? সবজি কাটতে পারি না। আমাদের কারণ কি লাগে? বটি লাগে, বটি দিয়ে পেঁয়াজ রসুন, এখন অনেক টেকনোলজি কাটাতে। So the body kilte giyece, body kilte giye boltesin je I want to purchase a thing to kill the onion. And knife ene diyece. No, it is very big in size, bigger than the line, okay, and it is very weighty. তখন তার থেকে একটা বোর্ড গায়ে এনে দিয়েছে। তো তারপরে উনি ভর্তি দিয়েছে যে এরপরে যদি আমি আরো কিছু বলতে যাই তাহলে তো পুরা লাগবে। এই জন্য তাকে বডি ইংরেজিটা বোঝাতে গিয়ে ফরেন স্পিকারদের মানে নেটিভ স্পিকারদের টার্গেট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ কান্ট্রির এই একজন বাংলাদেশিকে অনেক বেশি বেগ পেতে হয়েছিল। এরকম যদি গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন হয় ইংলিশ ক্লাস যদি একজন নেটিভ স্পিকার টিচার হয় অনেক কিছু জিনিস কারণ তো বাংলা জানেন না আপনাকে যাই বলা যায় কেন আপনাকে ইংলিশকে বোঝাতে হবে। ওকে, সো এটা যেমন যদি আমি বলি যে cow is a four-footed animal or four-legged animal, and also goat is a four-footed animal. Difference করবো এর শরীরেও কি আছে সফট লোম আছে ডিফারেন্স কিভাবে ঠিক আছে এই জন্য it becomes a problem whenever you will be in a position to communicate with native speakers teachers. In grammar translation method it is not necessary to contact with the native speakers, just you will be contacting to me like the first language speakers. No foreign teachers সাথে হচ্ছে সেক্ষেত্রে the communication will be easy. So students learn the new language without the contact with native speakers, that means speakers of the target language. So these are the advantages and some disadvantages are there. Actually, students lack in comprehension only, translating word for word, okay, one word for another. So in this way they can understand the total meaning of the sentence, okay, just like the Google translation. If you put a sentence in Google Translate, they will be meaning in the word-to-word translation. The contextual and the figurative meaning will not be translated in Google Translation. The translation's problem is that means word-to-word translation will be there, so comprehension will not be up to the mark. আপনি একটা ওয়ার্ডের অর্থ জানেন কিন্তু ওয়ার্ডটাকে যখন আমি ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করতে বলছি আপনার ইউজে আপনার স্পিকিংয়ে বা একটা সেন্টেন্সে তখন সেই জায়গায় হচ্ছে স্টুডেন্টরা প্রবলেম ফেস করে কারণ সে ওয়ার্ডের অর্থ জানে কিন্তু ওয়ার্ডের ব্যবহার সে করতে পারে না। ওকে, does not allow a student to create meaning in language in English, that means in target language. Okay, meaning in English. Okay, we have two kinds of dictionary, English to Bengali dictionary, AT-DEF or Bangla Academy Dictionary, and we have another sort of dictionary that is Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary edited by A.S. Hornby. Okay, so in English we suggest that if we try to understand the language, try to have a grammar English to English, that is Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. When you will be getting the meaning of the target language in the target language, যখন ইংরেজি শব্দের অর্থ আপনি ইংরেজিতে বোঝার চেষ্টা করবেন তখন আপনি এটা নিয়ে চিন্তা করবেন, হ্যাঁ, এবং সেই নলেজের এবং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজের নলেজটা হচ্ছে ইনক্রিজ করবে, বাড়বে। In this grammar translation method, that meaning in target language cannot be occurred. Always translation will be target language to mother language and mother language to target language. So meaning in target language, that means English to English, will not be occurring in this grammar translation methods, and this is an advantage because that will make you fixed on the word-to-word meaning. It can't go enhance your capability to use your words in the context, that means using the words of the target language. Extensive memorization. As I have said, the memorization is good and sometimes, but many times it becomes harmful because it reduces our innovative power or creative power. Very little student-teacher and student-student interaction. Very little, not not totally there will not be interaction between student and teachers, not like that. Many teachers will say, yeah, ask me the question if you can understand at the end of the class. But for the time constraint, the teacher will be delivering the lecture and he or she will say, okay, goodbye, thank you, see you in the next class. আবার অন্য পদ্ধতিও আমরা দেখেছি, ওকে, স্টুডেন্টরা প্রশ্ন করলে অনেক শিক্ষক রেগে যান। কি কি ইয়াস, সো এই জন্য ইন্টারাকশন একদমই যে জিটিএম এ থাকে না তা না, থাকে, বাট ইট ডিপেন্ডস অন দ্য একাডেমিক কালচার। কারণ আমি নিজে যে শিক্ষক প্রশ্ন করলে রেগে যান, ওই শিক্ষক শিখেছেনও ওই ট্রেডিশনাল মেথডে। সেই মেথডে প্রথম থেকে শেষ পর্যন্ত প্রশ্ন করা তো দূরের কথা, মুখ খুলতে পারে নাই, এবং ওটাকেই ওনার ব্রেন ওখানে ফিক্সড হয়ে গিয়েছেন, এই জন্য উনি প্রশ্ন করলেই রেগে যান। ওকে, সো ইন্টারাকশন থাকে কিছু কম প্রয়োজনে। ওকে, সো those are the disadvantages relating to grammar translation methods. Okay, and there are some benefits and challenges will be there. We will be reading the slides. Okay, and here the goals of foreign language study to learn the language. Okay, and in order to read the literature, in order to benefit from mental discipline and intellectual development. Okay, that is the goals of grammar translation method. Reading and writing will be there, so we need grammar translation method. It speaks for perfection. In the grammar translation method class, you can't make a mistake of spelling of a specific word. You may got several experience who had been teaching in traditional grammar translation method. If you misspelled a word, you would be severely punished by the concerned teachers. If you mispronounce a word, একটা শব্দের যদি বানান আপনার ভুল হয়, টিচার আপনাকে ক্লাসে দাঁড় করায় রেখেছেন, আমাদেরকে দাঁড় করায় রেখেছেন। আবার যদি আপনি একটা ভুল উচ্চারণ করেন তাহলেও এটাই আপনি করবেন। ওকে, সো গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথড, it is a positive side and also a negative side. Positive side in those way, that means if you learn a thing mistakenly, then it will not be unlearned next time. আমরা বলছিলাম যে যখন লেটার হিসেবে প্রচারিত হবে এর উচ্চারণটা হবে এই, that means A B C D E F G, কিন্তু এই যখন আর্টিকেল হিসেবে হচ্ছে তখন আমরা বলছি I am a teacher, you are a student, সেটার প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন হচ্ছে আ। কিন্তু এই আ প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন যদি কখনোই না শুনে থাকে তাহলে তো একটু চাপ হয়ে যায়। এই জন্য গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশনে পারফেকশনের উপরে গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়, যে আপনি যা লিখবেন এবং যা বলবেন you have to be perfect. So it has both positive sides and negative sides. Positive side is this way, that is you will be learning the good language, and negative side in this way, that means বাংলাদেশিরা কখনোই ব্রিটিশদের মতো প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন করতে পারবে না। সো আমাকে যদি ব্রিটিশদের মতো প্রনাউন্সিয়েশন করতে হয়, আমাকে বাংলা ভাষা শিখতে পারবে না। ওকে, সো ইট হ্যাজ বোথ সাইডস, and for this reason writing and reading, these two skills are introduced massively in grammar translation method. Okay, and that are the major factors. It doesn't mean, that means what about the other skill? It means that writing and reading is the main focuses of grammar translation method, and in the opposite side of the coin, speaking and listening are less important, and in some portion not important in grammar translation. Vocabulary selection is based solely on the reading text used. Okay? English for Today একটা বই ছিল, অনেকেই আমরা পড়েছি। সেই বইগুলো আমরা যখন পড়েছি তখন বাংলাদেশে গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথডে ছিল। 1990 সালের আগে বাংলাদেশি গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথডই পড়ানো হতো। Yes, any question?
Potential English grammar. It is also grammar based. Potential.
Yes. হ্যাঁ, এরকম ছিল। আরো কিভাবে সেন্টেন্স স্ট্রাকচার শিখতে হবে, সমস্ত কিছু শিখতে হবে। তো ওই ইংলিশ ফর টুডে ওই বইটার আবার গাইড বই পাওয়া যায়। গাইড বইয়ে প্রথমত কি হতো, চ্যাপ্টার শুরুই হলো এই যে একটা লেসন 4 এর যে টেক্সটটা আছে, এই টেক্সটে যেই ওয়ার্ডগুলো হচ্ছে আননোন বা মনে করা হয় যে বাংলাদেশিরা আমরা জানি না, ওগুলোর আগে কি করা হতো, তার মানে এই টেক্সট বুকের বাইরে যে ওয়ার্ডগুলো সেগুলো জানার প্রয়োজনীয়তা সেই সময় গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথডে করা হয়। So vocabulary is the important thing in grammar translation method, but they try to fix on the textbook. Apart from the textbook, they do not teach the vocabulary of other words and languages. So that is the matter relating to grammar translation methods. And sentence is the basic unit of teaching a language practice. Okay, sentence will be there, and not like the other parts like paragraph, essay, and some other component. Conversation, then also dialogue. Okay, all kinds of other forms of language teaching are absent in grammar translation method. Accuracy is emphasized. A little bit earlier I have said that in case of grammar translation method you have to be accurate, and it has both positive side and negative sides. Okay, and grammar is taught deductively, that means indirectly grammar will be taught over there, and by presenting the study of grammar rules which are then practiced through translation exercises. So your study, your knowledge of grammar will be tested through the translation, not the other way. Okay, and students' native language is the medium of instruction. Okay, that is the chief limitations that found by the linguists after the second half of 19th century, and for this reason grammar translation method changed to other methods and approaches for second language teaching. So student native language will be used as the instruction, and for this reason it becomes a drawback of grammar translation methods. And however, grammar translation methods the dominant part, and for this reason it has become the traditional language teachings, and dominated part is started from 1840 and towards 1940. Okay, the Prussian book relating to the elements of Latin grammar elements of Latin language that was published in 1845, is it? So starting their position, even actually the grammarian or the linguist, they offered this method based on the, so you may ask the question, যদি 1840 সাল থেকে গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথড পড়ানো হয় তাহলে এর আগে কি গ্রামার ট্রান্সলেশন মেথড পড়ানো হয় নাই? যদি না পড়ানো হয় তাহলে কেন, why it is called the old method? Actually আগে 1840 এর আগে the method was followed that was quite similar to grammar translation method, and observing the method the linguist proposed this method that became the name of grammar translation method. So from 1840 to 1940 grammar translation method was the dominant method of English language teaching. Okay, and next time many questions came and many things came in our hand in case of second language teaching. In 1984, Howard points out that GTM has introduced by those who wanted to teach classical language like German, French, Latin only with the rigorous grammar rules. Okay, so this man Howard, okay, he said that means grammar translation method is the method that was introduced by the German scholars, and next time the other scholar relating to the teaching of Latin language and literature. Okay, so many things came in our hand as the shortcomings of grammar translation methods. Okay, so in such a way, where after 1940 decades we have discussed that communication became a mandatory aspects of grammar translation methods. And for this reason, researcher, linguist, they had been searching for a new method and approach. And that method, that means grammar translation method, will be dealing with reading and writing skill of a language. But in order to get language learner the masters of all language skills like speaking, listening, reading and writing, the linguist and the other researcher were searching for the new approach and methods. And for this reason, they were coming for the innovation of English language teaching. They came up with some proposals, that is, that English language teaching should be in such a way that will enhance our all language skills capabilities. Okay, and how that can be occurred through the process, that is, English language should be taught in the target language, not in the native language. Introduction will be there, and for this reason we should not rely on the sentence structure only. We should consult about dialogues, conversation, effective communications. Okay, so with all the principles, several methods came in our hand, and with the idea of that movement, that means many researchers getting the importance of language teaching, especially the second language teaching, they wanted to reform the English language teaching scenario, and that reform scenario came in our hand in such a way we have got several principles and several ideas, and replacing the English language teaching from GTM to other, observing the shortcomings of other language, that came another method that came after GTM, that is called direct method. And in that method they were trying to reform GTM, and they were trying to have a new method of English language teaching, observing the shortcomings of grammar translation methods. Okay, so in a nutshell, grammar translation method based on grammar and translation from target language to mother language to target language, and target language to mother language. But it has some advantages as well as it has some disadvantages. But itself, many of the researcher and institution all over the world, they follow still this grammar translation method, though it has several in spite of having so many disadvantages. Grammar translation method is still followed many parts of this world by many institutions, because it is the traditional method and it is the in some way effective method by their observations. Okay, so thank you.
Sir, which term